Joining us live from London is Alex Thomson, Chief Correspondent at Channel 4 News. Thank you for joining us, Alex. I know you've been taking part in protests today. What are people saying about this? I mean, can they believe it's been a year?
Well, thanks for having me with you today. I think people are astonished. I think we all thought that it would maybe take a few days, a week or two at most, for this to be ironed out, that it was some kind of misunderstanding. Well, we now know very different, 365 days to the day, and an appeal starting on New Year's Day, and that, I suppose, is where the best hope lies in terms of the court's procedure. But I think people are astonished. I think in many parts of the world there is the growing feeling, this is the 21st century. We don't do this sort of stuff anymore.
Well, yes, I think that's what stood out for so many people, the fact that this can continue, and the fact that there's so many players who've allowed this to happen, international players who've allowed this to happen.
Well, there are a lot of players who've allowed it to happen internationally, and I suspect, it's almost healthy in one sense, and it's this, that it's a healthy thing that, frankly, governments and media organisations are at odds with each other. It would be a disaster if they were all on the same side, and I think we all should recognise that. So essentially, there's nothing unusual here. What is unusual about it, it seems to me, as an outsider and an observer, is simply this, that whatever the differences and the disagreements the Cairo administration and the government may have with Al Jazeera as a media organisation, there's a time and a place and a way of sorting those out behind closed doors to everybody's mutual satisfaction, one would have thought. What is not the way to go about sorting it out is to victimise journalists on the front line simply for doing their job. Now, I don't know any of these three gentlemen, I should state that very clearly. I don't know their families, I've never worked with them, but I do know this. I know what it's like to be arrested by governments around the world and on a number of occasions put in prison, albeit for a pretty short period of time, just for doing your job. That is not how you address these problems, and this is immensely damaging for Egypt and for Cairo, as well, obviously, as damaging for the lives of these people, these three journalists who've been grotesquely held now for 365 days.
And Alex, I know that you've done a lot to keep this in the public profile, and I thank you for that. Thanks, Alex Thomson, for talking to us live from London.